Um, I would say listening to CB, and she was like looking at her notes. I was like, let me get my notebook because it was I have so many notes from just the time spent with Jay Nicole, and it never fails that like I'll just grab my notebook and just I'll just open it up and see where it lands, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna revisit that, and just that alone, the notes that you will take are worth it, even if you don't implement it as well as you expect, you'll still have it to come back to. And so thank you,
That's
CB, for that.
Yeah, that's a common theme. Stevie was talking about that too. She was like, I didn't even put in my full 100%, but I still saw results. So that's a thing, y'all, because I know that can be a thing for us that holds us back. We don't trust ourselves. We don't think we're going to show up fully. And it's okay. If you do something, something's going to happen. Just like CB said, Ebony Jennings said, if you do something, something's going to happen. I'm sorry. I just wanted to add that. Lisa, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, and it reminded me because one of the things too, sometimes, it's a 6 month time together, and there's going to be times where you're like, okay, that's really applicable for me right now, or you might be, right? But guess what? Couple months later, you might open those notes back up and go, "Oh yeah, that's applicable about for me right now. Let me revisit this." And I have done that many times, right? But I want to take a minute and go back and Jay Nicole, you may not even know this, but um, I heard Jay Nicole's name a couple years back, and it was we hadn't even met. I just knew her name from Miro and Nicole events. They did something, and they were speaking very highly, and I was like, this sounds like somebody I need to pay attention to. And I just logged the information and went on with life. And then later, maybe a couple months later, I saw your manifestation event, and that was last year. I don't even remember the time frame now, but I was like, "Oh, I remember that name. That's the one that I need to see what's going on, right?" And so I went through that 10 days, and it was such the perfect timing, and I was just immediately just like, I need to be in this vibe, and just soak it in. And kind of where we are now is I see in the chat some people are like, well, the money and so on. I was literally in that place of going like, I really, really love the idea of what is being presented, and 6 months of this would be incredible, but that money. And so I just wanted to speak to that because one of the things that I really learned layered from Jay Nicole is that things get to look like not what you intended, right? And that's one of the biggest pieces, is like that piece of speak what you want, but also be open to, when you get it, recognize that you got it. Because so many times in our lives, we actually get what we ask for, but because it doesn't come wrapped up like we wanted and envisioned, we don't even see the gift we got, and we throw it away. So that's been one of the biggest things for me, and that applies to everything. But just being in the vibe, all of you, just get the transmission. Get the transmission.